Today, let's look at the progressions from this straight body support position through to a straight body shoulder stand. Now, obviously, to do this movement, you're going to need some P-bars, some rings, or 2 boxes around this type of height. Prerequisites to have a strong support position, so be able to move around in that position. An L-sit, so either with the knees tucked, or ideally a straight-legged version. A shoulder stand, at least a tucked version that's nice and strong, and you know how to move this around. So see how the hips and the shoulders are moving at the same time, but I'm staying within my balance window. So I don't overbalance too much so I back splat, and I don't underbalance so much so I fall out of the position. Then with those skills down, you can go through the first progression, which is the tuck shoulder stand position. So nice and strong 1 segment piece there, and then just open up the arms. And I'm rotating from the shoulder stand through to the L-sit. So the hips are coming down, the shoulders are coming up, and then once we're comfortable with that movement, from there, standing a tight ball, go into your support position, whether it's straight body or in that tuck position, and then going back to your shoulder stand position. Now notice here, I'm like this. It helps because the P-bars are like this, same as if I'm on the rings. If I'm on a box, I would do the same, and externally rotate the hands that pushes the elbows into the side. So watch this position from the front. See how much my arms are pushed in to my sides all the time. So I'm like this. This makes things much, much easier. You don't want to go to an extreme like this because you can't get your torso through your arms to go through to the support position. But we want to have enough contact so there's some assistance there between the torso and the arms, so it's like you become one piece. Once I'm comfortable with that shoulder stand and that L-sit, I can really start to play with those transitions from L-sit through to shoulder stand and back again. And I notice I'm holding a conversation while I do this. It shouldn't be that hard work because you're moving together as one piece instead of falling down and pulling yourself up. See how that was much harder because my body came apart and become loose, and I wasn't working as one segment. I had multiple segments, or like a wet noodle type thing, which is much, much harder to control and uses way more energy. From there, I can start to open things out. So that straighter position there, or instead of being here, I can open the hip. Same in the shoulder stand. Instead of being in a tuck, I can open to there. Now notice when I'm doing that, I'm going at an angle up to my shoulder stand position. So the channel balance window is like this. It's not vertical. If I go vertical, because my head and shoulders are in front of my hands, I'm going to end up in that bar. Then we can check, we can go from that straight body position down, back to that open position, and back again. Once we have the open position at the top and the bottom, but we're still using the tuck for the transition, we can then start to open the transition up. So easier to start with would be the eccentric movement. So starting in your open position there, maybe semi-tuck like that, all the way around to my support position. And if that feels okay, I can try all the way. So open position there, shoulders have to come much further forwards. I'm bending the knees slightly because I'm so tall that I'm going to catch my toes on the floor. Obviously, if you've got higher P-bars or the opposite, lower P-bars, you're going to have to shift your legs up and down just to create enough clearance to get through. Now, the concentric is much, much harder to get into the sweet spot. So a lot of people will go into this position and then they try and go forwards like this. And I don't have enough movement or enough lever arm in front of me to compensate for how much I have behind me. So what I have to do is I have to shift up and forwards, take my torso and my head and shoulders that way to compensate for the legs. And it's going to make your legs feel lighter. So from that position, look, I got up and forwards, which pulls up the feet. Very different than going down. If I go down, I just don't have enough going in that direction. So if that confuses you, just do the eccentric really, really slowly. Video yourself from the side so you can see what happens to the shoulders and the upper body. So you start in that straight body shoulder stand. Now watch how far forwards my shoulders come. So there. So I'm reaching forwards with the shoulders in that position. It's exactly the same when I go back up, reach forwards, and I pull myself up. Now you can see I'm closing slightly in the hip. Ideally, it should be glutes really on. Really fix this in one position. Lean forward. And over time, you'll be able to progress that so you have a fully open hip. Let me know if you have any questions with this one. I'll speak to you next time. Thanks, guys.